Today, we're talking about a story that's stirring up conversation across social media, Kate Middleton's new anti-phone campaign, which, according to Feminegra, is now facing backlash for being, well, tone deaf. Now, before we dive in, I want to say up front, this isn't about attacking anyone personally. It's about having an honest conversation about how well-intentioned messages can sometimes miss the mark when they don't account for the realities most people face every single day. So grab your coffee or your phone, ironically, and let's get into it. First, let's talk about what this campaign actually is. Kate Middleton has launched an initiative encouraging parents to limit their children's screen time and to practice what's being called present parenting. The core message? Put down your devices, engage with your kids face-to-face, and be more mindful about technology use in the home. On paper, it sounds wholesome and well-intentioned. Who wouldn't want kids spending less time glued to tablets and more time playing outside, reading books, or having real conversations? The research is clear. Excessive screen time can affect children's development, sleep patterns, and social skills. But here's where it gets complicated. Critics argue that the campaign misses the point, and even worse, that it comes from a place of privilege that most families simply don't have access to. And that's not just a minor oversight. When you're trying to connect with millions of parents across different socio-economic backgrounds, understanding their daily struggles isn't optional, it's essential. Because, let's be honest, not every parent has the luxury of putting down their phone when it's tied to their livelihood. Think about it. Many parents today are juggling remote work, answering emails at all hours, managing side hustles just to make ends meet, and handling communication responsibilities that literally depend on technology. For a single mom working 2 jobs, that phone isn't a distraction, it's her lifeline. It's how she coordinates childcare, communicates with her employer, pays bills, and yes, sometimes entertains her kids when she desperately needs 5 minutes to finish something urgent. The modern economy has fundamentally changed how we work. The traditional 9 to 5 with clear boundaries? That's increasingly rare. Now we have the gig economy, freelance work, remote positions that expect you to be available beyond standard hours. Parents aren't on their phones because they're negligent, they're on their phones because they're trying to survive. And here's another layer. For many families, especially those in lower income brackets or immigrant communities, that smartphone might be the primary or only internet-connected device in the home. It's how kids do homework, how parents access government services, how families stay connected to relatives abroad. It's not a luxury item, it's essential infrastructure. So when a campaign says, "Put your phone away and be more present," it can sound dismissive of these realities. It can feel like being told to just relax when you're drowning in responsibilities, or eat healthier when you're working 3 jobs and passing a drive-through is your only option for dinner. Commentators online have been quick to point out that advice like this coming from someone living in royal comfort can feel disconnected from reality. It's not that people disagree with the idea of being more present with kids. It's that they find it ironic to be lectured on real-world parenting by someone whose life is anything but ordinary. As one social media user wrote, "Easy to talk about less screen time when you have nannies, staff, and unlimited support." And that comment really cuts to the heart of it. When you have a full household staff, private tutors, personal assistants managing your schedule, and don't have to worry about paying rent or buying groceries, your relationship with technology is going to be fundamentally different than someone working paycheck to paycheck. I'm not saying Kate Middleton doesn't care about children or isn't genuinely trying to make a positive impact. I believe the intentions are good. But there's a concept in social justice circles called checking your privilege, and it means understanding that your experience of the world isn't universal. What works for you might not work or even be possible for others. This isn't the first time royal campaigns have faced this criticism. Remember when there was pushback about organic baby food initiatives that cost 3 times what most families can afford? Or wellness programs that assumed everyone has time for yoga and meditation retreats? The pattern is clear. Campaigns that don't account for economic disparity and systemic barriers often come across as preachy rather than helpful. And that's the heart of the backlash. People aren't angry about promoting healthy habits, they're frustrated by how royal campaigns often overlook the complexity of everyday life. For most families, technology isn't the problem, it's the lack of time, resources, and affordable childcare. Let's break this down further. What would actually help families spend less time on screens? First, affordable, quality childcare. When parents aren't stressed about whether their kids are safe and well cared for while they work, they can actually be present when they're their children. Second, living wages and reasonable working hours. When you're not working 60-hour weeks or multiple jobs, you have the mental and physical energy to engage with your kids. Third, access to free or low-cost activities for children. Parks, libraries, community centres, sports programmes, these give families screen-free alternatives. Fourth, better parental leave policies. Countries with generous parental leave see stronger parent-child bonds and better developmental outcomes. Without addressing those root issues, some say this campaign risks sounding like another surface-level PR move a photo op, rather than a meaningful initiative. It's putting a band-aid on a bullet wound and calling it healthcare. What many are calling for is substance. They want campaigns that don't just tell parents to do better, but that actually offer solutions. Better support networks, digital education programs that teach healthy tech habits, rather than just saying less screen time or funding for mental health and family well-being services. Imagine if instead of just a campaign poster, there was actual funding for community programs. Imagine partnerships with schools to provide after-school activities so kids aren't just going home to empty houses and tablets. Imagine advocacy for workplace policies that protect family time and prevent the expectation of 24/7 availability. That would be transformative. That would show a real understanding of the systemic issues at play. It's a reminder that awareness is only step one, and that meaningful change takes more than slogans. It takes investment, both financial and political. It takes using royal influence to push for policy changes, not just public service announcements. Some have pointed out that this could have been an opportunity to highlight the real challenges facing modern families and use the royal platform to advocate for structural solutions. Instead, it risks being filed away as yet another let-them-eat-cake moment, well-meaning but ultimately out of touch. Now, I want to be fair here. This conversation isn't really just about Kate Middleton or this specific campaign. It's part of a much bigger discussion about how we talk about parenting in society. There's often this moralistic tone in parenting discourse, this idea that if kids aren't turning out perfectly, it's because parents aren't trying hard enough. Not enough attention, too much screen time, wrong foods, wrong activities. And that narrative conveniently ignores all the external factors that actually shape childhood outcomes. Poverty, housing instability, food insecurity, lack of healthcare access, underfunded schools. We live in societies that often fail families in fundamental ways, and then we turn around and blame parents for not doing enough with the insufficient resources they have. That's fundamentally unfair. So when campaigns like this emerge, they tap into that existing frustration. Parents are tired of being blamed for problems they didn't create and can't solve alone. So, while the message might come from a good place, the execution seems to have struck the wrong chord with many. In today's world, people expect leaders, royal or not, to engage with reality, not just comment on it from a palace window. They want to see understanding, empathy, and real solutions, not just advice that works for the top 1%. What do you think? Is this backlash justified, or are people being too harsh? Do campaigns like this do more harm than good, or is any awareness better than none? Let me know in the comments below. I genuinely want to hear your perspective, especially if you're a parent dealing with these exact challenges. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a new episode of Meghan and Harry Tales. Until next time, I'm Adrian, reminding you to stay critical, stay curious, and always question the narrative. Thanks for watching.